Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to this new section in the course of Introduction to Linux for Beginners. Now, this is section number 3, which will talk about the file management and permissions. Now, the goal of this section is to understand the file permissions and how to manage them. We will learn and practice using commands like chmod, chown, and ls-or -l to change file permissions and ownership. Now, we have seen these ls-l in the previous videos, but we will go in depth for these commands in this section or lesson. By the end of this section, you will be comfortable navigating directories and setting up file access for users. Now, this is a key component in securing and managing the files. Okay, so let's go ahead to my system. I will end the slideshow here, and I will go to this Ubuntu machine that we have. Now if you go here, if you see this who am I, which shows you the user. Now as I said, you need to jump to the root user, which you can do by doing sudo su and then change me is the password. Now if you fail like this, just enter wrong command password 3-4 times, and now you are here. Now you should do su to root. That will change the user to root now, and the password is change me. And if you do a pwd, now you are inside the home vbox user, but when you do who am I now, he says it's the root user, right? You can see the prompt change from vbox to root user, but you are inside the directory which is the home of the vbox user. But if you do a cd, now if you do a pwd, now inside you are inside the root directory of the root user. Okay, now we'll go ahead with the actual stuff for this section, which is the file management permissions. Now we will learn about the file permissions in Linux and how to manage them using commands like chmod, chown, ls-l, and understanding permissions is crucial for, as I said, the securing the files and controlling the access. In Linux, every file and directory has permissions that determine who can read, write, or execute it. Permissions are categorized for 3 types of users: the owner, the group, and others. Now, if I go and take a notepad so that I can write this down. Now we have 3 types of permissions, file permissions. You can see one is the read. This is denoted by the small r. This basically what allows viewing the file contents. Okay, and then you have the write. This is denoted by a small w, and this allows modifying the file contents. Okay, and then finally we have the execute. This is denoted by the small x. Okay, and this allows running the file as a program or script. Okay, so these 3 things you have to keep in mind. Now to view permissions, we can use the command ls-l, which shows the permission, ownership, and other information for each file in a directory. Okay, so let's go to the this VM and check this out. So if I do ls normal, ls-l, if I do, now I see these extra details, right, that I want. The first column in each line represents the file type and permissions. It has 10 characters. The first character shows if it is a file or a directory. Now if you see, vbox postshell install.sh is not a directory, that's a file, so that's why there's a dash, and this one is a directory, so you can see a d at the beginning. Okay, and then rw, this means that the owner has read and write permissions, while the group and other have no permissions. here. Here they have execute and read permissions, but as of now nothing right on the top. So I hope you understood all these things. This is like 10 characters if you see. Okay, and this is the what do you say, the group, and then the user in the group. Okay, owner, or you can say. Okay, now let's try and change the file permissions. Now let me do a ls or I can do a cd home or home or home and do ls dash l here to see. I don't have anything here. vbox user, inside that we have vbox user, or I can do a cd etc just to go here, and let's say I have ls dash l here. Okay, now as a root user I don't have let's say this guy. I don't have the executable permissions, right? So let's do a change mod and do plus x. I'll give an executable for myself. Let's see if I can do that. First copy and then paste, enter. Okay, now if I do this, let's see what is the difference. And this one, now I have an x right here. Okay, so I will be able to execute this. Now before that, if I go here, where is that? Before the change mode, I think here I did this, but before that I had no execute here. The fourth one, r w and dash. Now here r w and x, right? So that is the difference. That is how you change the, what do you say, the permissions here. Now this way is called using the symbolic notation, right? Now the change chmod command is used to change permissions of files and directories. We can specify permissions either using the symbolic notation or numeric notation. With symbolic notation we can use letters to represent permissions. For example, we use the chmod u plus x and then the file name. Now this basically gave the owner or the user the execute permission for that particular file. Okay, here u stands for the user or owner, and plus x as executive or you can say execute permissions, and then the what do you say, the file name. Okay, any file that you want to change or modify. Now let's do the same using the numeric notation. Now in numeric notation, permissions are represented by numbers. Each permission like read, write or execute has a value. Read, for example, is 4, write is 2, and execute is 1. So we add these numbers to set permission. For example, chmod 755 and then file.txt, whatever the file is, gives the owner full permission with the 7 number, while the group and others get read and execute permission by 5, which is 4 plus 1. 4 is read and 1 is execute, right? So if you say 6, read and write. Okay, so like this, read and execute, 4 plus 1. Okay, so let's do this. For example, this one. So I want to give a full permission. Let's say let's say I'll give only read permission now to this one, right? So I'll do a 400 and then the xattr.conf like this. Now if I do the same ls-l, now I see that I have only the read here, right? Now if I want to change the same, let's say I will give now 755, which is full permission for the user, and then you have the read and execute for the owner and others, sorry, group and others. So if I do this, now if you see this, I have the full permission for the user and others are execute and read. Okay, so this is how you give the read and execute. Now if you want to also enable write, then you have to give 777. Okay, if you do 777, it means everyone has the full authority to do anything on this file. right? If you see now, everything is read write execute, read write execute, read write execute. Okay, so now I hope you understand this, right? So let's say now again I will do read write for the first user. Second user should have only read, which is 4, and 2 is write, so 6, and last should have only read. Okay, so like this. So if I do this now, I have read write. First one, the actual user has full permissions, then only read write for the group, and then the others has only read. So hopefully now you understood how to do it using the numeric notation, right, with the chmod. Okay, so now we will also see the next one, that is the changing file ownership with the chown command. The chown command allows us to change the owner and group of a file. Okay, now we can change the owner of group of the group or owner of a file using chown. This is useful when you want to transfer ownership of a file to a different user. Now to change only the owner, we use chown username and the file. To change both owner and group, we use chown username colon group name and file. I'll just show you. For example, to change the owner, you would do chown, okay, chown, and then the username, let's say username, and then the file name. So this will basically transfer the file to this owner, which is called username, whatever username. If you want to do both, what you do is username plus the colon, then you say the group name. Now it will transfer both these. So you see here user and group, right? So that's how you want this to happen. Now let me do one thing. I will create touch test dot txt. Now if I do ls just l, I should have the test somewhere. Yeah, so I have this. Now it is the user is root and the group is root, and this is the file permission. Now the uh, the group has read and others has the read also. The user has rw. Now let's transfer this file, okay, with the chown, and we have the vbox user, and the name of the file was test.txt. Hit enter. Now if I do this thing, let's go back to the test. Now you see the user has been changed to vbox user. Now if you want to change the group also, so we'll do like this. Now we'll change both. Okay, now if I go back, you see the user and the group both has been changed. So I'm just transferring the now if you want to do chmod and then let's say 777, you want to give the full permission for test.text, and now if you see the same thing, now you see full read write and execute permissions for this user and the group, right? So with this you are able to change the file to ownership of the file to any other user, or even to change the group. Okay, so now we will do a practice task, and now we'll do this so that you are familiar with this setting permissions and ownership. Now that we know the basics, let's practice setting permissions and changing ownership on a new file, as we did for this test.txt. The same we will do for this another file, which we will create. Okay, so I'll go just move to the main root, and let's say I'll go to the home folder. Okay, and if I do ls here, I don't see anything, so I'll make a directory, mkdir, sorry, mkdir, and I will say this is my practice directory, and I'll do and change to practice directory. Now here I will create a file. Let's say this is called practice.txt file. Okay, and when I do l here, so you can see the permissions. Now I have read write permissions, then the owner has the read and the others, sorry, group has the read and the others has a read, right? So let's go here and change it. Now we will give the owner full permission, the group read only permission. I mean, already it's like that, but we will change the owner with the full permission, and no permission for others, let's say. Okay, so we'll do it using the numeric. If you remember, with the chmod, you have full permissions is 7, and then we want to give keep as is the read with 4 and no permission with the 0. Let's practice .txt. Now if I do the same, you will see the difference, right? The owner has full permission and the group only read permission, and then others no permission. So hopefully now it is more clear to you. We will do another practice. Okay, so let's do a okay, let's change the user now. Okay, let's change the user now. Now we have used the chown, right? Chown, because I'm the root user, so you will not be able to, I mean, you will be able to do all these things. Now if I do let's say for you guys, I'll do su and I'll say vbox user. Okay, and then vbox user ls dash l permissions denied. So I can do a sudo chown, and then I can do this what do you say, sudo chown, and then the user vbox user, and we have the practice dot txt. Let me just check if this is possible, and then this is change me. Okay, so this is not working. Let me go and first of all su, I will move back as the root. Okay, and I'll do the ls dash l. Okay, so then I will go to the home directory, and here if I see cd home ls, I have the practice cd capital P practice and ls dash l. If I see so if you can also do this, right, ls dash r, if you remember, you can see all this folders and the content inside that. I am looking at the practice. Okay, cd home and then ls dash r. Okay, good, you have all these folders. Now if I see who am I am the root, and then ls dash l, if I do, I have the practice, so I'll go inside practice. Right now I will do ls dash l to see this is the user, which is the root. So now let's change this to the user to someone else, like the vbox user, and then I will say practice.txt, and if I do ls, I have changed the owner of this file, right? He has only read access. Okay, now you can understand how to do this. We already did a practice about this. So in this lesson we covered how to view and modify the file permissions and ownership using the chmod, chown and ls-l. These are key tools for managing access to files in Linux. Like for practice, create a directory called permission test, So this is for you guys, a practice thing. Create a directory called permission test and a file inside it named test file.txt. Give the give the owner a read and write permissions and the group read only permissions and no permission for others. Then change the owner to the file to another user of your choice. The same thing that we did in this practice lesson here. Okay, or just work with your imagination and do couple of exercise. Now thanks for watching. With these permission management skills you are one step closer to mastering Linux file security, and I will see you in the next lecture where we will dive into the next section of the learning Linux as a beginner. So till then, bye bye, see you in the next lecture. Thank you.